Here's how Mercury retrograde is going to affect you in a way that doesn't inspire fear and also explains it a hell of a lot more because I use pictures. Follow me. You're going to want to. And I know I attract the Audi crowd, aka ADHD and autism. So, plus button right there. Okay. Gemini and Leo, y'all are something called semi-sextile for this Mercury retrograde. So basically that's an easy fucking transit for y'all. Just be careful of using emotions as a crutch to not be productive and get your shit done. But this is also a really good time, especially for Leos with Jupiter moving through your rising sign, to figure out why is it that you think you're too bright for certain spaces, or why you think you're not bright enough for certain spaces. And for Geminis, especially with Mars and Uranus, this is really going to be making you see like where your emotional patterns and your logical thought really fuck up your whole good idea process and the execution of it, because Mars is all about your execution of ideas. Taurus and Virgo, y'all are something known as sextile to Mercury during the retrograde. So one thing, especially Taurus, that you need to remember is y'all have Chiron moving through your sign right now. It's temporary, but it still is. And so with already like looking at how you value your own self-worth and what wounds you have regarding that, you'll have Mercury coming in with like where emotionally are you feeding your wounds, and then where are you healing your wounds, and what familial patterns did you pick up from that. So yeah, and then for Virgos, when it comes to your emotions, how do they nitpick your logical process, and how does that hinder you from being as perfection oriented as you are, right? Like, this is going to be really a time where you look at the familial patterns of how much time you waste fucking overthinking shit, or how good you are at not overthinking shit and actually being productive. Aries and Libra, y'all are known as something square. So squares are really intense transits. And squares are like two people fighting and both sides have to see the other's point a little bit before they'll start to concede. But the secret is they both agree with each other and they're just too stubborn to admit it. So with Libra energy, this is gonna be like emotional avoidance to a point and not quite seeing the big picture of what familial patterns really block your ability to observe your own situation and see where you're giving up too much of your own power. And then in Aries, especially with Saturn being in Aries, that's where the power thing comes with Libra. Saturn is all about you creating your own life, but taking 1000% responsibility for it. So what familial patterns stop you from owning up to your shit and actually coming up with viable solutions to go about it, instead of just sitting there making a plan for a plan for a plan for a plan for a plan. Pisces and Scorpio, y'all are going to be something known as trine. Now, trines are considered benefic, but I call them bestie energy. They talk every day, they hang out every day, it's really easygoing energy. Until there's too much of a good thing. And then a trine can sometimes implode. So, with Scorpio energy, especially with having Chiron go through it in its opposing sister sign, Scorpio has a lot of energy right now regarding questioning your value in the worth of other motherfucking people. And what familial patterns make you do that, and where are you kind of a little judgy where you don't need to be. And then Pisces over here, Pisces is just here and vibing, and Virgo's having a good time, and they're having a really good time, but they're overwhelmed by everything. And what familial patterns make you sit in that overwhelm and that discomfort, but stay there when you maybe per se shouldn't, and when do you need to be more of a bestie to yourself? But then again, y'all are the ones who'll delude yourself out of discomfort until the point it gets so big that you can't. And then you're like, where the fuck did that come from? Even though 3 weeks ago when that shit started, you knew it was happening and you knew you were deluding yourself. You just don't want to admit it. Aquarius and Sagittarius. So y'all are known as something called a quincux with Mercury. And basically what quincux means is kind of like an opposition where two people are having a discussion across the table and one person has to start the concession process and then the other side will fall in line and then that energy will flow. With a quincux, though, two people are having a discussion across the table, but one of them is flirting and the other one is not. So it takes the person who's not flirting about 20 minutes to realize the other person is flirting, and then they get annoyed, but then they secretly know that they were attracted to that, and the other person can tell that they were attracted to that, and then it becomes a whirlwind relationship of fun, and it's a 50-50 shot of whether it lasts or not, but either side will remember that as usually good times. So with Sagittarius, where Mercury is really asking of you is, where have you gone outside of your comfort zone that you realized was not what you were supposed to do, but you were instead supposed to just spend a little bit of time there and then come back and bring that to your local, like, comfort zone in your local community? And what familial patterns are really, like, in, like, stopping you from being able to have the discernment that you need on what, like, flight of fancy you're going to be chasing that day? And Aquarius, with Pluto in y'all's sign, y'all are really humanitarian energy, and it's really all about, like with Leo, about where they shine. It's all about shining for your collective and helping them shine their light just as bright. So with Aquarius energy, with the Mercury retrograde, where are you being challenged to shine your light so other people can see it and learn how to do that? And why? Who told you that that wasn't a good idea? I think you'd be pretty fucking great at it, but that's just me. This is your sign to stop being scared of the transits and start using them as empowerment tools and a map, because that is exactly what they are. You should again follow me so that way you can keep up with information like this, because my name is Astro Queen. I make astrology simple so you don't have to, and I'm also the queen of anti-fear astrology, and so I'm here to make it so you can easily understand it, not be afraid of it, but instead realize these are energies you can control to use and empower yourself. I got a fucking newsletter coming out on Tuesday, Stars and Loomies. Go to my website, the link tree in the bio, to sign up for that, and you get a free 10% off coupon. There's a lot of shit happening. You should probably book a reading too while you're there, because I'm telling y'all, they're about to get booked out. But yeah, this Mercury retrograde, it's a lot of reflection, it's a lot of emotions, but at the end of the day, you're a baddie. You've handled Mercury retrogrades before in water signs, and you will do so again. So yeah, okay, bye!